step. You'll see it in the smiles. When smiles are hard to get, you'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Lemon Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC-accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Lemon Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselemonbrace.com.
Chase Lim and Brace.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Sportstime on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin and Brett Stats Norsworthy.
Good Wednesday afternoon to you on this February 12th. Be careful out there. It's about to blow through, and maybe it'll be gone for a while. But tonight, the Portland Trailblazers, they blow through downtown Memphis to play the Grizzlies as everybody's trying to get out of town for the All-Star break. One game to go for the Grizzlies before the All-Star break. One for Portland. They lost last night, the first of a back-to-back down in New Orleans with a pretty epic performance from Zion Williamson. You know, we needled Dave a lot last year. Dave's on his way to Cincinnati. He will join us, we think, about 5:30. He's on his way with the Tigers on the jet airplane bound for the Queen City, Skyline Chili City in Cincinnati with a matchup with the Bearcats. We needled Dave about his comment about Zion
being the best college basketball player he's ever seen.
Well, I don't think he said that, was it?
It was that bad, yes.
He said the best in the last 40 – what did he say?
He literally said the best college basketball player he's ever seen. He did not put a time limit on it.
Okay. Well, he needed needling then. He is that good. He was that good last year at Duke. The Duke-North Carolina game last year, the first time they met on a Wednesday night, I think, it drew like 4 million people. Saturday was just a little over 2 million. So he was worth double that, and he was worth that. He should be, with the blessing of good health, all of that in the NBA. I just didn't think he was, because it was 1 year, too. Now, if he had stayed 4 like everybody used to, who's to say Dave wouldn't have been right?
Yeah, who's to say? I mean, if he replicated what he did.
Well, we would be the ones to say he would.
Well, we would. You're right. We'd always do that to good old Dave, but mostly in good fun. But
totally in good fun.
I think he probably would have been able, if he had stayed healthy, would have been able to recreate the magic that he had his freshman year if he had stayed another year or another 2 years, and could possibly have been a top 10 greatest college basketball player of all time.
You know me well enough, and I think this listening audience knows that I don't try to specialize in hot take artistry just to gin stuff. I want to gin stuff naturally. I think the entertainment quotient in this it's the underlying sports in this. This always gets it going every time I've said it in the past. 67129 at the First Bank text line, 360-8255 at the First Bank phone line. The best player in the history of the ACC, college. Don't think about what happened afterwards. The 4 years of college was Christian Laettner. He was better than Michael Jordan in college. Michael Jordan, I could make the argument if he was in the top 10 in the history of the ACC, not college basketball, the ACC, it would be closer to 10th than it would be to 1.
Yeah, I don't even know if Michael Jordan, and I'd have to honestly do the research, but I don't know if off the top of my head, Michael Jordan would be in the top 5 in North Carolina itself.
That is a very accurate statement. Billy Cunningham sure would be there. Sam Perkins would probably be there. James Worthy would be there. And others. In the ACC at North Carolina State, David Thompson may have been the greatest player in the history of the ACC. Lynn Bias, a couple other guys at Maryland, Tom McMillan. I mean, we hadn't even tried to. Tim Duncan at Wake Forest was better in the history of the ACC than Michael Jordan. I know he went on to become, in my opinion, the greatest player ever. I'll take Michael Jordan in the argument right now with LeBron, and even right now with the argument being for Kobe Bryant. I don't want to diminish anybody in those arguments of who was better, Mantle or Mays, and it always feels like and we're getting ready to have it in sports in this neck of the woods in the South from college football over Nick Saban and Bear Bryant. I think it's Nick Saban, but I'm not at gunpoint. I'm not running down Bear Bryant to make my Nick Saban case.
No, and you shouldn't. And realistically, I mean, these conversations are fun to have until, that one buddy of yours takes it way too far, gets really upset, and storms off. And I have a friend like that.
We all do.
Will stab you over the Michael LeBron debate.
Well, and here for locally for the Tigers, and I'm often hit with this, usually good-naturedly and around people that love the Tigers and kept up with it passionately, like both of us, and in my case for a long, long time. When I go greatest Tiger player, I think my argument is buttressed in all-time leading scorer, all-time leading rebounder. It starts and ends with Keith Lee. But he played 4 years. What if Penny Hardaway had 2 more years? What if James Wiseman had 4? And I don't mean to needle people with that today. But what if he had 4? But we're not going to have many 4-year guys anymore. Jeremiah Martin did, but the first year was throwaway. There wasn't anything.
I mean, he only scored 73 points his freshman year.
Right. Only 73 more than we had, which is really a lot more. So if Zion, back to Dave, if Zion Williams.
Well, I don't know if he had 73 more. I think I'd put up at least 30 points in the intramural league at Memphis that year.
I want to see the official scoring book.
All right, fine. It was more like 15. But I had 30 fouls.
I still want to see the book. Y'all didn't keep a book, so the games didn't count.
No.
You had a bunch of fouls. Don't ever.
Oh, I was the foul guy.
It's like going dove hunting. Never go back with a loaded gun. Empty that gun. Hot barrel for sure. No, Dave's on his way to Cincinnati, but Zion with a big game last night. And a big one downtown tonight for the Grizzlies at FedEx. Well, one of the big stories today is Mel Tucker leaving Colorado to take the job at Michigan State. They had to make him a great offer because Luke Fickell, what did he turn down and what did Mel Tucker accept? I think it's a good day for the AAC and for Cincinnati Bearcats in football to keep Luke Fickell. I don't know how much longer they can keep him with success. It just feels like he's naturally going to tack toward the Big Ten someday. And probably, I don't know him at all, been around him 10 minutes at the post-game presser at the AAC championship game after a heartbreaking loss for him. So I don't know him at all. He didn't know I'm alive. But you have to think in his career path, he wants to be set up someday, probably a long time, after a Ryan Day run, to maybe have a shot at the Ohio State where he was the interim coach.
Yeah, and right now, if you're Luke Fickell, you have a good reason of why you didn't take the Michigan State job. One, you're getting paid plenty of money right now at Cincinnati. You've got that program on a steady level, got a great team coming back. You're going to compete for the AAC championship again next year. And also the responses from people saying, well, obviously it's more money. Why wouldn't you take the Michigan State? It's a Power 5 job. Well, think about all the turmoil that's been around Michigan State, not just the football program, but the entire university for the last 2-3 years. I mean, it just feels like
really
an infested place. Yes.
I mean, not just your run-of-the-mill cars and clothes and cash illegal recruiting things. Really, sad.
Life-damaging.
Very depraved stuff out of there. And that doesn't mean the whole place needs to be blanketed with that. But you're out there having to recruit with Michigan State jersey on.
Yeah, and
can't be easy.
People are going to associate that with your program regardless of if you were there or not. And I think Penn State has done a good job of separating themselves from it, but it's still one of the first few things when you hear the name Pennsylvania State University.
It is.
That you think of Sandusky, and it's hard to get away from that.
How long?
Until they get away from it. I'm going to have to say, ultimately, until their student body wasn't alive or alive but doesn't remember it.
Generations.
It's going to take a long time.
It just does. It stays with you a long time, for good or for ill, and usually really sticks to you like glue when it's for ill. It's been a tough 3 or 4 weeks. Drew Pearson was left out of the expanded class for the 100, the centennial class for the Hall of Fame. I don't know why he's not in. He should be in. And then today he has this tweet. Drew Pearson at 88. Drew Pearson, one of my favorite players. I think he played high school football with Joe Theismann in New Jersey. But anyway, he tweeted, all caps, Mel Tucker is a con man. He recruited my grandson to go to CU, said he wasn't going anywhere, then ups and leaves. Sat there and lied to my face he wasn't going anywhere. So I want to beat him up today on social media. What else can I do? I don't know Drew Pearson, but I would say, Mr. Pearson, your grandson needs to embrace whomever Colorado hires. It's why you need to think about signing with the school and not an individual. And one of these days, I don't know what position your grandson plays, but after his junior year, if he's going to be one of the top picks in the NFL draft, I would tell him to leave, even though he signed with Colorado with 4 years in mind. Everybody's got to look out for themselves. And it goes back to the criticism of James Wiseman that I did not at all weigh in on any criticism of him. It was his decision. I wanted him to stay and play here. You know what? Purely selfishly, because I wanted to see James Wiseman play all year. But he, along with his family and his advisors, he weighed it out that it's best for him to go when he went and not come back after the suspension served. If y'all had to do all over again, they probably set him down at the first of the year at the first drum beats of war about it, get the 7-8 game suspension. He's back now, and I don't know where the Tigers would be headed with him. He would be in a better position. But even now with Precious Achiuwa, I don't know his status for tomorrow night, but we'll get more from Dave when he joins us today, and a lot more tomorrow on game day when he's with us at the beginning of the show tomorrow. But for Precious Achiuwa, and we alluded to this yesterday, Dave agreed, and we all agree. If that knee is really balky the rest of the way, maybe even NCAA tournament, but definitely an NIT, I've done all I wanted to do for you. I got to look out for me. I just don't see anything wrong with that, because if these coaches can leave on a whim, the players can too. And I don't think it would be fair to criticize either.
I don't think it's fair to either. I mean, everybody, yes, you want to be the team player. You want to be all about the team. You know, the old saying, there's
wish it was 1980
there's no I in team. But at the end of the day, you've got to look out for you and your future, and that's for the players and the coaches. I don't think Drew Pearson should be as mad as he is, and I think you're exactly right. Players should start to go back to committing to schools and not the coach, because if the coach leaves, then they're stuck there, unless they want to take the year off and transfer and wait it out in the portal and see where else they can get some interest in. But I don't think when Mel Tucker recruited his grandson that he truly thought, because that would have been before D'Antoni left. That would have been before any talks of him getting the job would have happened. I don't think he sat there and lied to his face at the time.
But over the weekend, it was a lot of tweets, but the offer went up.
It did. And when the commas changed, the commas changed.
When the commas changed, and the old saying of, I changed my mind when the facts changed. When the offer was this many million, I wasn't going to leave. But when it changed to this, yes, I am. And you can hashtag, Buffs rule or whatever the Colorado hashtag all you want. But when the facts changed, my mind changed. 67129, texter. There was so much overlap with Leitner and Grant Hill, the argument could go either way. Not a chance. 4 straight Final Fours for Christian Leitner and at least 1, if not 2 MOPs. Not a chance. Greatest player in ACC history was Christian Leitner. Grant Hill lost in the finals to Arkansas. Christian Leitner, he lost in some finals, but he also won back-to-back in 91 and 92. Another texter says, just have a feeling the Tigers will win at Cincy. That's a good feeling. I don't want to argue with that. Isaiah Maurice has a big game, maybe around 68, 63, something in the 60s. I think he'll have to be that.
I think I can argue the Isaiah Maurice part of the tweet, or the text, but
Yeah.
other than that, I like the optimism.
Yeah, I do too. And much maligned Isaiah Maurice, hadn't he? Ben.
Yeah, and honestly, Isaiah had
Fairly?
probably fairly,
Yeah.
but he did have probably his best game of the year on Saturday in that loss, just because he had to play the minutes. We had to have somebody fill that spot. I think he had.
It's down to warm bodies.
I think he had 8 points last week,
and he was more than that. But it is down to a lot of people having to do more than they really counted on, and never really could have foreseen a lot of this. And it's part of the contrast tonight, stark contrast. And I think the unexpected nature of the Grizzlies' good year contrasted with this Tiger year really slipping away to make it even more of a pleasant surprise. What if going into tonight, the Grizzlies are 27 and 26. What if they were going into tonight 15 and, trying to get my math right, 38, is that right?
something like that.
Something like that.
I'm not going to try to do it in my head.
What if it was around that? And here in Hoop City, it would really be bluesy city.
Would be bad, but I don't think it mostly would just be about the Tigers still, because of the expectations were so
Baked
high.
in the cake?
Yeah, and the Grizzlies, ultimately, we kind of thought they'd be around 15 at this point. I think at this point, I had them at 19 wins.
Oh, you went W's and L's.
Yeah, but before at the All-Star break, I believe I only had them at 19,
When do you
20
have
wins.
that much time to do all that? You're busy every time I look at you.
I niche out a few minutes here and there.
We're in our Family Leisure studios where family and fun come together. Help Family Leisure make room for the incoming inventory. Save thousands on all floor model spas, floor model play gyms up to 50% off, patio furniture 10 to 50% off. Don't wait until May to purchase your swimming pool. Get on the list now. Buy now and get scheduled for spring installation. Spring's coming soon. Additional discounts on all swimming pools, grills, fire pits, outdoor kitchens at Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. Tigers tomorrow night in Cincinnati. Grizzlies tonight at home against Portland. TJ Reeves will join us at 3:30 to talk college basketball and some bracketology at 4 o'clock. Mr. College Basketball, the Hall of Famer himself, Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News. He joins us at 4 o'clock at 4:30. The Business of Sport with our friend Rick Harrow down in South FLA. We go to Cincinnati for the first time over these next few days. I think he'll be there by then. Jason Munns from the Commercial Appeal, beat writer on the Tigers, and we will wrap it up today around 5:45 with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Top story of the day.
Last home game for 16 days for the Grizzlies. Only 2 home games after tonight, the rest of February. It is really slipping away, isn't it? And a big one tonight against Portland. 4 clear over the Blazers in the loss column. Tonight would make it 5 heading into the long All-Star game break. Next game anywhere is next Thursday night in Sacramento, the first of a 4-game road stretch that really and truly you look at it and you just want to go 1-3. And if you win tonight, you could kind of accept going 0-4 on it. That's going to happen, still going to happen with this very, very young team. But it has been fun, the unexpected nature of it. Nobody saw this preseason. Nobody saw this 1st of December. Nobody saw this 1st of 2020. First day of 2020, nobody saw this. I really won't believe you if you tell me you did.
I wouldn't believe him either.
Your top story?
My top story of the day, the NFL has reinstated Cleveland Browns defensive end Myles Garrett after he was suspended indefinitely last November. The thing about this, though, it really raises some questions for the NFL. If another player does the same thing that Garrett does this kind of set the bar at – does this mean that the bar is set at 6 games?
No.
Does it mean it's set at the rest of the year?
No, the next one –
or is it case by case?
The next one is probably put out forever since nobody learned from Myles Garrett's penalty. Myles Garrett paid a big price, but if it happens again, he didn't pay the biggest price. If it never happens again, he paid a really, really big price. No, the next helmet-wielding player never plays another down. You got to really drop the ball.
Then can't you have the discussion if you're that player? Well, Myles Garrett got this for doing this, for losing his head in that type of situation.
You could.
Why don't I get the exact same thing?
You could. They will. The Players Association most definitely would do that. And it's why I think this one probably should have been heavier to send that sign and maybe the deterrence, if deterrence really works. And I think it does if the punishment's handed out heavy enough.
How, for you, what would the heavy enough punishment been? Would it have been the rest of this year and then all of next year?
I don't know about all, but a significant some of 2020. I'd have to think about it, but some, yes.
Not top story of the day.
Booed heavily in introductions at home last night in Philadelphia. Of course, Philadelphia. Joel Embiid answers with 26-9 for an upset win. They were the underdog last night at home to the Clippers, the loaded Clippers. Philly, they have to make the Eastern Conference Finals. I won't say they got to go to the NBA Final. They sure don't have to win it. But I think they have to get in the Eastern Conference Finals, or here comes the big broom. Brett Brown's probably the hottest seat in the league. Understandably, necessary, needed.
But if it does work out, I mean, it ultimately gives you hope for if you're another franchise out there going through a process. Now, you don't want to be going through the same.
They went through a long one, though.
Yeah, and I would like to translate that into maybe the Phoenix Suns. It gives you hope, but Phoenix is so far gone. Like their process is going to last 20 years.
A piece or two. I think Phoenix has some hope.
I don't see it. I don't see the hope because I've been waiting on it.
Oubre, I see a little.
It's still not translating. Until it starts to translate, then I'll believe it. My not top story of the day, local news, the Beale Street Music Festival lineup in its entirety was released today. Do you want to go through and see how many you know?
Oh, boy. This is really going to make me look 57, I'm afraid.
All right. With the headliner, so I'm just going to do from top to bottom, the Lumineers.
I got nothing.
Nothing on Lumineers. Okay. Lil Wayne. You know who Lil Wayne is.
Yeah. Now, is that Little or Lil?
It's Little.
It's the full word.
No, L-I-L.
Of course, Lil. Yeah, I know Lil. Yeah.
Okay, you know Lil. Weezer.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Weezer, good early 90s grungy act. Yeah.
Yeah. Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, love Billy Corgan.
I'm not a big fan. I don't know. I know who they are, but I don't know them
love
well.
the Pumpkins, but this is a lot of 90s.
So you going to buy a ticket?
No.
All right.
Last time I went was in the 90s.
The 1975?
I went to see the Black Crowes on a Friday night, left here on a Friday night, 96, 97, 98-ish, dressed about like I am now. I mean, I was at work, so you know how I dress.
Yeah.
Get down there, they're so out of it, the Black Crowes. They're supposed to hit the stage at 10. They don't till 11:20. They couldn't sing Happy Birthday. I mean,
oh my God.
Way gone. And I 4, 5, 6 years into quit drinking, every guy down there thought I was the DEA or looking for my child or what are you doing here?
Not gonna lie, you showed up at Music Fest like that. I might think the exact same thing.
The number of, well, you think you're in the Grove? Come on, man. I'm just down here trying to have fun like you are. Leave me alone. I'm not bothering a soul. And that's when I knew that this is not my bag anymore.
Last year started to get there for me to where
at 25?
Well, I was 24 at the time, actually.
Well,
it's starting to get there. And I mean, honestly,
12 months later.
I joke with you about not knowing all the bands.
So how old would I have been in 97? 35?
Okay, so you're telling me I got at least another 10 years going for it.
Well, I wouldn't try it not drinking at any age. That really stood out, too.
I bet that doesn't help it whatsoever.
It really didn't. And it was kind of, it was over for me. Who else?
3-6 Mafia.
Yeah. Oh,
know who 3-6 is. Leon Bridges.
No.
Deftones.
Nothing.
Lindsey Buckingham.
Oh, yeah, part of Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, is that who it is?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll go see her.
Yeah.
I didn't know her actual name.
But I think they're all on the outs, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all kind of doing their own thing. I know Stevie tours by herself now.
Oh, I love Stevie Nicks.
I do, too. You can't not love Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks prominently on the iPod.
AJR.
AJR what?
That's just the name, AJR.
Like AJ Hinch
just
R?
the letters AJR.
Nothing.
All right. Louis the Child.
Louis the who?
Louis the Child.
Louis the Child.
Louis the Child.
I don't know Louis the parent.
I don't either. Nelly.
Oh yeah, I love Nelly and
Country Grammar, my jam.
Well, one day playing the iTunes game, thank goodness Bash got to the dump button fast enough. My song was Country Grammar, and you know how it starts.
Yep.
and I hit it, and Bash got to the dump button, or I might not be here over Country Grammar. Over Nelly and the Lunatics.
A few more. I'll do just the local ones that I actually know.
I don't want to make locals mad because they're out there. They're busting their can.
Okay, then I won't do the.
Don't do locals.
Waka Flocka Flame. You remember him from the late aughts or late 2000s, early aughts?
No.
He's the guy that went waka 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 waka. No.
Got nothing.
No.
But those sound effects very well can make the crunch time loop if I could ever figure out how to do it.
I'll save them for you.
Okay. Anybody else?
No, that's pretty much all the big names. But looking through it, I like the lineup, but I don't know half of it.
I'm fine by it. And a friend of mine today on Twitter responded, I don't care that you don't like the Beale Street music lineup. Every year on release date, it's the garbage on Twitter of who is kind of like me on The Little Child.
Louis the Child.
Louis the Child. Which I almost thought that was like a Christmas carol, Louis. Anyway, but every year it's the same reaction to whatever the lineup is, and every year crowds are robust and great downtown. Somebody likes them, but it's just so easy to be critical.
I mean, honestly, in years past, and like I said, I'm starting to get around there, but I know I at least got another 3-4 years left in me. I'm going to go just to go because it's what I do the first weekend in May.
And you should. This hour brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, online at lexusofmemphis.com. Give them a call at 901-362-8833. Lexus of Memphis offering the Golden Opportunity sales event. Great offers on all 2020 models and always on special lease options. If you ever thought I'd look great in a Lexus, well, guess what? Lexus of Memphis thinks you would look outstanding in one of those beautiful cars as well. Drive in luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2020 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and driving in style. Lexus of Memphis, the high standards in the industry. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and that makes for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Call them at 901-362-8833. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis. We will have amazing when we come back. Coming up next, TJ Reeves, our friend from Tampa, St. Pete. He joins us to talk all things sports. That's next on Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, AM 560, 87.7, and 96.1 FM.
I'm Howard Robertson.
And I'm Larry Robinson.
Telling you R&R on sports.
We've been on SiriusXM and stations across America.
We're coming to Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Every Saturday morning, 9 a.m., beginning Saturday, February 8th.
It's R&R on sports.
Don't you miss us.
Tired of waking up hot and uncomfortable? Start sleeping cool on the reinvented Tempur-Breeze by Tempur-Pedic. It's engineered with a revolutionary cooling system that pulls excess heat away from your body and allows maximum airflow to help you sleep deeper. During our President's Day event, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic. Now ranked #1 in customer satisfaction with retail mattresses by J.D. Power. Find a retailer today at TempurPedic.com. For J.D. Power 2019 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Hey guys, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. Treat your special someone to a fantastic dinner at the Butcher Shop Steakhouse. In addition to the full menu, the Butcher Shop is offering their famous Dinner for Two special all weekend long, February 14th, 15th, and 16th. Start the evening with a glass of house wine, champagne, or beer. Share an appetizer of spinach and artichoke dip or Cajun sautéed shrimp. Choose from 6 delicious entrees, 7-ounce filet mignon, 14-ounce New York strip, 14-ounce ribeye, fresh Atlantic salmon, char-grilled chicken breast, or grilled lobster tail. Each entree includes a fresh garden or baked potato and hot bread. Each guest enjoys a homemade dessert, New York cheesecake, or chocolate thunder brownie. Your choice of soda, tea, or coffee completes the meal. all for $99.50 plus tax and gratuity per couple. For reservations, call the Butcher Shop at 901-757-4244. Or for more information, visit thebutchershop.com. The Can-Am Spring Fever event is here and ready to take you on the ultimate off-road ride and get you some serious savings. Can-Am is built for ripping through trails, crawling through mud, cruising over dunes, getting the job done. Get it done for less. Farmers and ranchers can save up to $1,500 on select 2020 Defender models, or even on select 2019 models, save up to $2,500 during the Spring Fever event. Get yourself a new Can-Am off-road vehicle at a great price. Visit us today, Olive Branch Motorsports, 5656 Goodman Road, or online at obmotorcycleatv.com. Join the Midday Show and Johnny Radio at Top Gun Shooting Range this Thursday from 10 to 3. Top Gun is located at 2770 Witten Road, right off Summer Avenue. If you haven't been yet, you need to come check this place out. We'll be giving away 2 $50 Gould's gift certificates for your Valentine and a full automatic gun experience, which is getting to shoot 4 of Top Gun's fully automatic guns for free. That's this Thursday at Top Gun Shooting Range. Come shoot with us.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a peace in town, Memphis.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stotts, Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Did you see the texter take a shot at you about Lindsey Buckingham?
Yes, I did. And I'm sorry I didn't know that
It's a he, not a she.
It was a he. Well, don't have a name like Lindsey.
Well, that is I have known a bunch of male Lindsey. Lindsey Nelson, one of the most famous male Lindseys ever. The great Tennessee announcer, great baseball announcer, great football announcer. But I think more female, one of my best friends is a female named Lindsey. I think predominantly more female than male Lindseys. But yes, Lindsey Buckingham with.
And honestly, you can't blame me. I mean, what 25-year-old knows every name from Fleetwood Mac? You only know Stevie
So
Nicks.
that segment turned into you were going to make me look like the grand old 57-year-old bald-headed old man I am, but it really highlighted your youth. That's what it ended up turning into, Drew.
It did. Ultimately, it backfired on me.
Fleetwood Mac, Lindsey Buckingham. But I think they're all mad at each other. And every time the golfer, Tommy Fleetwood, not Mick Fleetwood from Fleetwood Mac, if he is on a leaderboard, either I will text Greg Gaston or Greg Gaston will text me. It's good to see that he's really getting over Stevie Nicks doing him dirty. And she did. She treated him horribly in the 70s. We get back to sports, and we do it with our friend T.J. Reeves from down in Tampa Way with the Buccaneers radio. And
oh, my God. 2 things before you begin. So
okay.
It's good to be with you, and you had no way of knowing this or preparing for this. But right now you're playing my song on 2 fronts because, first of all, one of my twin daughters' names is Riley.
Yes.
Which a lot of people can say, okay, is that a boy or a girl when you have twins? So I totally identify with the whole Lindsey thing. Lindsey Vaughn came to mind immediately, the most accomplished female skier of all, and the most successful world champion. So there are Lindseys, and you mentioned Lindsey Nelson, famous broadcaster, Drew, from back in the day. It was always Notre Dame football showing the replays and the highlights with Lindsey Nelson. And I believe, Stats, Lindsey Nelson, the first ever New York Mets broadcaster, right? The original Bad News Mets that were horrible, right?
Can anybody here play this game, Mets?
And I think Lindsey Nelson, Knoxville, Tennessee, birthplace. I believe that is correct.
Well, yeah, in the baseball park at Tennessee is named Lindsey Nelson Park, and he was also famous. He also was famous for a long stretch of alongside Paul Hornung. They were the voice on CBS of the Cotton Bowl. I mean, every New Year's morning, and the Cotton Bowl would be 11, 12 o'clock game, be the first game, and year-round, no matter what time of season, he would wear a garish, and I mean, it would make Rob Fisher blush, garish, patch Madras blazer, even on New Year's Day. And when Ole Miss, when we went to the Cotton Bowl in 2008, I asked my mother at Christmas lunch that day, I said, find the patch Madras coat from college. And, of course, she could. And I was going to wear it to a party at the Cotton Bowl. Man, I had really grown since college. I couldn't get a sleeve in.
This is a tremendous segment, and we had no idea that this was going to be this. But, yeah, he was famous just like Fish is, and just like the late Craig Sager was, for wearing the outlandish,
needed sunglasses,
hideous whatever. And part of it, because I remember hearing him being interviewed, was he wanted to get attention for the brief time that he was being shown of, hey, who is that announcer? They'll remember me by these outlandish clothes, Lindsey Nelson. He would wear them to speaking engagements, public, and all that. But I got one more before you move on to sports, because you had no way of knowing this.
Okay.
So I am in the car line every day, and a lot of your listeners that are parents can identify that when they're younger, you drop them in the car line. Well, my two are now old enough where we discuss all kinds of things, which I won't get into, and we start singing things that are on the radio. And I will at times have the 80s radio station on. And so there is a song that they have grown to like from Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Again, we're going before Drew's time here with Joan Jett, but she was a hot item when MTV first became big and was showing music videos, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, fast forward. This is 2 days ago. The Joan Jett song comes on, and we're singing along, and one of the twins asked me, Daddy, how old is this song? And I have to admit that the song is either a 1980 or 81 song. I hate
About
myself
40 years,
for loving you. And I have to contemplate, Stats Norsworthy, that is a 40-year-old song.
Well, you can tell your girls that your radio friend in Memphis saw her as the opening act May of 1990 at the Coliseum for Aerosmith.
How about that? Okay, but this is 10 years prior when she was hot figuratively,
yes,
hot rock and roll female star literally, and that was 1980 or 81, so I had a moment. Forget about Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac. TJ had a moment about Joan Jett and the Blackhearts with the twins. I just thought I would share.
And TJ, I can give you one that involves Joan Jett. A lot of people, and especially with the news, the opening music to Rush Limbaugh's show is a Joan Jett song, Back to Ohio. That is her song that she hardly ever performed, and they say it to this day infuriates her that is the opening music on his show.
She was getting big royalty checks at one time for him using her music. And here's one more. If you watch Sunday Night Football on NBC, even though the words are different,
yes,
that's the song, that's the tune, that's the medley. I Hate Myself for Loving You for Sunday Night Football with Faith Hill singing it. I guess Faith Hill now sings
it. Pink did it. Pink
did it first.
Had some,
and then I guess they adapted it with Faith Hill, but it's still the same medley, the same song. So we've totally digressed. But yes, this is what we go through with our kids,
that's
et cetera, et cetera.
And you ought to see all the Lindsays at 67129. Lindsay Wagner.
Oh, yes, the Bionic Woman.
How about this
How did we miss the Bionic Woman from the late 70s, the follow-up to the $6 Million Man?
And we'll get it back to sports with Run, Lindsey Scott for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yes, against Florida in the Gator Bowl.
See what you did, Drew?
That is still one of the iconic calls.
Well, I learned a lot in that.
We really did. And one politically, Lindsey Graham.
Don't do it during the segment, but for Drew and for the audience, go back on YouTube and just put in Joan Jett, Hate Myself for Loving You, and you'll see what we're talking about.
All right, TJ,
40 years ago.
It is your time of the year. There's a couple of TJ mantras at this time of year. One thing about free throws, they are free. What part do you not get about that? Another thing, win games and beat some schedule and win games.
Win your games.
This
is not complicated. Win your games. I mean, we can bring this to any different situation that you want, but by and large, if you are on the bubble, if you're in trouble, my God, I have to say it on the air, if you're the Memphis Tigers, you cannot lose to USF at home. You guys have been talking about it for the last 3 or 4 days, and believe me, I have heard it in my own house from Mrs. Reeves, Jennifer Reeves, class of 96,